Lotus Squad. Welcome back to Lotus Tarot TV 444. And today we have a lot to discuss. I wanted to share my experience with Papa Legba, especially since I've been seeing all of these stories coming out about what's happened recently. Everybody in the comments and in the chat, y'all can let me know if you've heard about this. But hold on. Somebody's blowing me up. Hold up. So, like I was saying, okay? So there's a story that's been floating around concerning a young lady that actually tried to summon this particular spirit that I wanted to share my experience with. Hello, Trees. How are you, sweetie? I wanted to come on here and to tell you guys about my experience because lately I've been seeing that being spiritual is now becoming a trend of sorts. And I feel like the more that we share our experiences with these things and at least educate people, maybe we can prevent these things from happening again, hopefully. So I figured I'd come on here. Just this past Monday, actually, was when I met Papa Legba for the first time, which is actually quite ironic because just the day prior, I believe, prior to me meeting him is when this whole event went down. Hello, Gina, sorry. Hi, Gina. I hope you guys are doing well. And guys, be sure to hit that like button so we can get these messages out here. And if you guys feel led to share the stream, please do. That would definitely be a big help. Now, back to Papa Legba, right? Okay, so this past Monday, and it's interesting, before I even thought of wanting to get in touch or to meet Papa Legba to begin with, he actually came to me in many different ways. It started off really subtle, and it came to me more in the messages that I was coming across. I would see his name from time to time, which is actually how I've come across other deities as well. They just kind of come to me for some reason, and then I feel led to research them a little bit more and to figure out, who this is. And I noticed that he's been coming to me, because y'all know hindsight is always 20/20. And looking back now, I can see how he was getting in touch with me a lot sooner. I just didn't realize it. But anyways, when I figured out that he was coming to me in a roundabout way, was through some video on here of a young lady sharing her experience with meeting him the first time, discussing opening the road. And it's interesting because this is the perfect time for me to have met him and for me to even finally realize that he was trying to get my attention. And so fast forward to this past Monday, and I had already made a previous video about my experience with Papa Legba. And that was more or less when I was noticing his name coming out a lot more. So I did my research. And one thing that I've learned for sure is when you want to summon these spirits, these particular spirits, which they're referred to as orisha or loa, these are two different leagues here, so to speak. And it's not anything to dabble in. Let me just put it that way. Like, it's not anything to just try and test the waters with. Because you can get fooled and you can get confused, especially within the spirit realm. You're not sure if what you're seeing is really what you're seeing. If you don't know, if you're not educated on what to look for, right? So I did my due diligence. I did my research, and I figured out everything that I needed to best offerings. And so this past Monday, I finally mustered up the courage to take that leap of faith and to answer the call, so to speak. And so I got him some black coffee. I gave him his cigar. I had some pennies here and some money. And I would have gotten some rum, but your girl ain't drinking. And if I would have got it, I would have drank it. So I held off on the rum part, but I got him his coffee, these coins, red and black, of course, since those are his colors. And I listened to music for Papa Legba, meditating, focusing, my intent. And it's interesting because when I got this urge to want to go outside and to enjoy the sun a little bit, get some fresh air, I just happened to decide to walk out there. And it was crazy how it happened, y'all, because it was immediate. Like after I finished doing my thing in here, and setting up everything, cleansing my space, cleansing myself, getting organized, and I was like, I need to take a walk. And I walk outside, you guys. And there's an older gentleman that I had never seen before in where I stay. And he had on a red shirt, a red hat with the visor. The visor part of the hat was black. And he was actually Colombian, which was interesting because I'm starting to wonder if it was Ilegua that I'm referring to. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe Papa Legba and Ilegua are supposed to be similar or the same. But he was Colombian. The man and I actually spoke to one another, He said, hey, I said, hey, and I was smoking and we just struck up a conversation. And when I tell y'all, when he started speaking, it was kind of like I was talking to someone that I already knew. Like it didn't feel like I was talking to a stranger at all. And, I was just doing my thing and we're kind of doing small talk at this point. But then he mentioned something that really struck me. He said something about mother is the most important thing. And that, I think he had asked me if I spoke to her or something like that. And I said, no, we're not really talking, although I'd like to. And he was like, you know what? He offered his phone to me and then he told me to call her. Now, okay. When I tell y'all when he did that right there spoke volumes to me, because why would he just why? So anyways, so I call her and of course she's probably at work because, it was probably midday by this time. And so I said, you know what, since you told me to call her, I'll leave a voicemail. I was being all, I was hesitant at first, but after that brief hesitance, I was like, I knew it was coming from a good place. So I was like, all right, so I left her a message. Hey, Mom, I just wanted to call to check on you and see how you're doing. This ain't my number, but if you could hit my line though, my line is 832, link it up. All right, Mom, I love you, girl. I'll talk to you later. So I hang up. And right when I hang up, I just kind of look over at him with this like knowing smile, like, all right, I guess that did feel good, And so we started talking a little bit about what I was smoking, because I was minding my own business, chilling, and we got to talk and he was like, oh, you smoke. So we linked up and he was like, hey, can I? And I was like, sure, you cool people, you're no problem. So we go and we have, we had a couple hours where we were just hanging out, smoking. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to say everything that we were talking about because I don't feel like that's necessarily necessary. But he did hit on a lot of points that somebody such as you guys, only things that you guys would know, and people very close to me who are probably not close to me anymore now, but people who have been closest to me know. So it's only those people that would know these things. So how is he speaking to me and hitting on so many points like this? Like, I get that we have intuition, girl, because intuition on point, but he was bringing up stuff that was way too relevant. And we just chilled. We just enjoyed each other's company and went from there. Now, that was my experience meeting him. I could go into detail if you guys would like to see that. I can make a video or a dedicated video for that. But I wanted to touch on my experience with him and just to say that there are key things to look for, but you also have to really do your due diligence to get to this particular point of even being able to experience meeting them. One thing that I've always known about the spirit realm is that any spirit that you come across, whether dark or light, they all can find ways to test you, and that's key. They know your intention without you having to say anything. So that's really, you really got to be careful and measure yourself up properly to make sure you're not jumping into something that you really would rather not jump into. But it leads me to this story that I've been hearing about, where there was a young lady actually that this young lady had some sort of breakup or whatever with her girlfriend. And I guess she was trying to summon this particular spirit, Papa Legba, and wanted to basically put a hex on the girl and made a poppet and everything. And the thing is this particular young lady had no clue what she was doing, first of all, because I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but she was a novice. And plus there was no connection bloodline wise to this young lady and the orisha, the loas. And so, and actually when I heard this story, it went like after I met him, which is weird, even weirder to me, because it was further confirmation that not only that what I could do could potentially move mountains if I just focus it right, but I also see the seriousness and the gravity behind even getting into something like this. And that's why I wanted to kind of share my experience. There are certain things that you're going to see and know that it's the particular spirit you're calling. But before you can even get to that point, you've got to get to a point where you've gone through multiple dark nights of the soul. You've really done that deep shadow work. And if you haven't done that, then they just them being in your presence could wreak havoc if you're not careful. So just hearing the story after meeting him was further confirmation of the seriousness of that. And unfortunately, this person did not educate themselves. Now, there's something that I have been talking about a lot on this channel regarding certain people in the spiritual community not wanting to, they're out for self. They're focused on the bottom line. They're focused on the dollar sign. And so, I've been talking a lot about people in the spiritual community, everywhere from tarot readers to even, those who do witchcraft, all of that. I've definitely been feeling a lot of interference and maliciousness. And, I've been calling it out a lot lately. I just didn't realize that it was as deep as what I'm still learning it to be. And so I do know that there are a few in the community where they don't warn their viewers, you know what I mean? Don't at least educate them a little bit on what they're doing and the seriousness of stuff like this. But they'll just give you hey, this is what it is. Now, I'm not saying that it's not the person, viewing this video, not saying that they're not responsible for doing their own research, but I just feel like being a light worker in general, you have a certain responsibility to do your due diligence on all fronts, just in case, you don't want to be leading people to the slaughter, so to speak. And that's just keeping it 1,000. Now, where I was going with the whole me being able to know firsthand through experience what spirits can do is actually before I even realized that I was a light worker, and before I even realized that I had psychic abilities. I had them. They were always there. I just didn't know how to wield them, and I didn't know how to tap into them properly. But it came a point to where I was able to see spirits with the naked eye. I still can. Sometimes they're white flashes. Sometimes they're of a smoky sort of look. Sometimes they're kind of like a white puff cloud, almost like you're blowing out cigarette smoke, or it could look like a solid black. And they could take the shape of a man, even though they aren't necessarily a man. They can take shape. And those are particularly called shapeshifters, which was actually something that I had experience in. And one thing that I've learned about shapeshifters is that they can appear to be somebody that you know, just to gain your trust and just to get you to divulge divulge information that you otherwise wouldn't. They can take shape into somebody that you know, and get you to create some sort of bond, and then lead you to make a deal for their own ends. See, it gets that deep, and I had known that without really knowing that back then. Now that I've become a light worker, I've realized that's exactly what happened with this young lady here. For sure, is that she didn't do research, which you should research anything and everything. I don't give a damn if you have to research a company that's offering you a job. You can never be too careful. Better safe than sorry is my policy. And this person did not have the right intention either. And baby, this is not anything to play with. You have to know what you're doing. And so what I'm thinking from personal experience, I'm thinking this person, thinking that they're going to put a hex on somebody, not knowing what they're doing, right? Being disrespectful of these, of the orisha and the loa, it's just a lot that I think that we are responsible to tell our viewers, or to tell others that even just come to us looking and seeking guidance. We have a responsibility to tell people and warn people of things like that. Like I could have told you that even with certain spells. I've done a love spell, which was actually my first spell that I've ever done. I was desperate, and you should never, ever, 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 ever do magic while you're desperate. You should never, ever, ever, ever do magic or summon spirits, or even think about any of these things before you research, because these spirits can pose themselves as something else that you were expecting, and then you're done. Had I not known those little details of what to offer, Papa Legba, had I not done my research, I probably could have ended up in the same situation. But for this particular case, I just felt like I needed to come on here to share my experience with you, and just to put out that warning and be advising the other light workers. It's not, I feel like I shouldn't have to tell anybody else about letting people know, especially when you're, educated in the matter, and that other people watching you have no clue what this entails, what this life entails, what it requires of you, all of these different things. We are responsible, to our viewers and to those a part of our community to give warning to these things, properly educate. And it's interesting because, and I'm not going to go too deep into this other video. I mean, it's going viral, you guys. It's crazy. And, and the only reason why I didn't bring up the race of this particular person is because I don't want to alienate anyone. But unfortunately, it was a white woman. And, the orisha, if you have no descendants if you are not of African descent, if you are not initiated in Vodun and in voodoo, then you really shouldn't be involved in any of it. Now, something else that's still been weighing on me a little bit has been the whole Prince and Vanity thing. I've taken a little bit of a break with them. But I guess a part of me is still trying to figure out what draws me to them so much, aside the obvious similarities. But there's another person in particular that's been trying to get my attention. And this particular person is David Bowie, which is actually why I have these doggone cards, right? These cards are amazing. Starman Tarot was actually made for David Bowie, or rather, these were concepts for his albums that he created with the artists he worked with, and it got turned into tarot cards. So I think that's pretty cool. But I can't say that I know much about David Bowie, right? So it's kind of like the same scenario that it was with Prince with me. You know, I didn't really know much about him either. But David Bowie has been coming to me in his own mysterious ways. Like I'm seeing him in movies all of a sudden when I didn't before. I'm hearing his name and seeing content on YouTube when I didn't before. Not saying that, oh, it's a conspiracy. It's not that. It's just the universe is always communicating with us, and I tend to pay attention to the signs that I'm given. And when Prince started popping up a lot, I was like, all right, let me look into this dude, let me figure it out. And now I'm kind of wondering about David Bowie. How many of you guys actually know about him, and what can you share? The only thing that I know is of him and Iman, which I think that they were the sexiest couple ever. And they had a deep and passionate, genuine love between them. And I'm sure they had so many obstacles to face with the cultural differences, society as a whole, even in Hollywood as a whole. We rarely hear of anything lasting, to stand the test of time. And with their particular love story, that's the one thing that I know him from. And if you guys have any songs that you can suggest for me in the chat box and in the comments below, please do give me some David Bowie songs, because I don't even know where to start. I never heard his music. I don't really know about him, so that'd be cool. But him and Iman, I feel like there's a lot of potential for not only finding financial stability, security in general in life, but now I feel like there is this attraction to love more so than ever before. And remember that journal entry that I read to you guys in the last collective. Remember how we talked about, just when I wrapped up that whole passage, I said the answer is love. I went through all the emotions, all of the ups and downs, and it all circled back to all you need is love. And so it's kind of like coming to me as I'm telling you guys that David Bowie has been coming to me, David Bowie and Iman. I really do feel like love is in the air. And love can come in many different forms. And I did not know that he was a Capricorn. Are you serious? Yo, somebody fact check that. Are you for real? Girl. Okay, see? You guys, look at this. Somebody is lost, girl. Somebody is confused. Tell me why somebody that's bald comes to mind. You guys may know somebody who's bald. Or maybe they just have, it's like shaved down. And this person is feeling left out. Like they're feeling like They're feeling abandoned, dude. It's like the delivery guy showing up with all these cups, girl, that you had ordered. And he's like, okay, I know I triple and quadruple check these directions. Where the hell am I at? Look at him. I know that I doubled and triple checked. So now he's sitting there confused. I feel like there's a lot of signs that point to the relationships that we've had to cut short without explanation because of this energy. The kind of person that would give the shirt off of their back to the next guy. We're the type of person that's like, if I got it, then you got it. No questions asked. And yet all these people that we've done all these things for and been there for and given our all to, we're looking confused because not only are people not receiving the love, the time, the effort that we've given and the energy that we've given, but they're not even reciprocating either. I feel like somebody is being hot and cold. So one minute they really like you. The conversation is great. Maybe they come on really strong. They talk about, their attraction to you or how much they like you. And they're maybe even, low key gassing you up about something one minute. But then the next minute, somebody starts acting hot and cold. So then they go cold. They start with the silent treatment. They go to the opposite extreme. I feel like some of us are like, we've had to jump through hoops for so long. What? I'm going to just throw in the towel right now because I'm tired of hip hopping around here. And I'm done because all of this that I've given, and it's like one thing's just burning the flames. You got sunburned bridges in the background, Some of us are blowing up the bridge because we've had enough. There's another situation here where there may be someone that, the one that got away, or, maybe somebody's viewing us this way. Somebody is just out of reach, so to speak. And it's like everything is so simple. Everything is really so very simple, but this particular person with their mind games and their manipulation, the lack of growth, the lack of inner growth, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of understanding of the world around them, because they refuse to hold themselves accountable and they refuse to take responsibility. Now they're confused when it's really very simple. We gave them with all of these cups here that we thought they would have at least got one of them right. But unfortunately, this is the type of person that I feel like brings a lot of their drama and pain onto themselves. To those feeling some sort of deep sadness or maybe some sort of depression hitting you, maybe you're getting waves of anxiety, waves of fear, waves of angst, and not really knowing why you're feeling that way or where it's coming from, but it's from multiple people from what I'm seeing. See, everybody's looking at what they should have realized they had before it was gone. See, they didn't take the time to value what they had. They may have surrounded themselves with a harem of women or a harem of men to make themselves feel some sort of self-worth. But not only is it making them feel worse and to feel lonely in a crowd of people, but it's also pushing people away because they choose not to acknowledge the things within themselves that they need to work through and to identify, admit. And for some of us here, it has a lot to do with family and friends. You know, we talk a lot about the exes too, but I see a lot of references, you know, regarding family and friends. There's a lot of chitter chatter going on. Way too much chitter chatter going on. And it has a lot to do with family for sure for the majority of us. And we've decided to all of that, to remove ourselves from the nonsense. A lot of these offers that we've had thus far seem to be more energy draining than anything else. It seems to be that the more people were around, we realized why we stopped hanging out with them in the first place, because all they do is talk about other people and, you know, try to put other people down in some way. And I really see this strong reference to a lack of emotional maturity. There's somebody that's just simply doing too damn much. About to blow up in their face here. Matter of fact, it has already blown up in their face, or faces, if that applies. It could be more than one person for sure. Somebody's dropping the ball. Somebody is losing control here, you guys. Some of you guys may be feeling like you're getting a lot more headaches. Maybe there are some things concerning your sinuses that may have been flaring up recently. Maybe there's been some strange feelings within your gut or within your chest area. I just feel like there's a lot of pressure. There's somebody here that's really dealing with depression, and they've been trying to wear a mask for so long that not only has it slipped long ago, but now they're losing the ability to even create a new mask and to maintain that one. Like it's just, and when it comes to finances, there just seems to be a lot of instability because there's somebody that is, again, trying to do too much, trying to do everything at once and getting nothing done. There could be some news regarding the family or regarding children, especially where maybe you guys had some sort of unexpected expense that you needed to regarding the child, or regarding the home. And that could be causing more undue stress for some of us here. Maybe we're feeling like we're falling in a hole so deep and it's getting deeper by the second and we can't seem to find a way out of it. Somebody could have a daughter here that they have abandoned, quite literally. And now the child, you're having to answer to your child. For those of this that this applies to, it won't be for everybody, but there is a mother here that's going to have to explain to her child, or even for the single fathers, there's a father here that has to explain to their child while the other parent, or why the other parent is not stepping up. And that's causing a lot of instability in the home, especially. The money is not good because the other parent is irresponsible. They lack the necessary maturity to get anything of substance or anything constructive done. They're definitely emotionally unavailable. They're confused. There's somebody here that has a real woe is me attitude. I see this Queen of Chalices reversed. So definitely a water sign. Maybe some of your mothers that's watching this video here, maybe some of you have a mother, that is a water sign. And maybe the daughter is an earth sign here. But I see with this woman here, this is the type of woman that may have so many wounds within herself that has gone unresolved for so long that they now have become irreparable, irreversible. And now this person has become very scornful. It's like hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Because it's the type of woman that grows just bored and she's grown fed up with having to do everything by herself, taking care of the finances by herself, or whoever the single parent is that's being responsible and taking care of the child, nurturing the child. But the other one is just, they refuse to take care of their responsibilities. And right now I'm seeing a lot of anger when it comes to this here. Yes, it can be a motherly figure as well. There's definitely a situation here where anger it has been pent up for a very long time here. And for some of us, this could be referring to the anger that we've been feeling throughout life due to feeling abandoned. For some of us, it could be, we could even flip the script and say, that this could be referring to some of us who have, a childhood wound regarding our mothers in particular, where she was emotionally unavailable herself. She was not as nurturing as she could have been and should have been. Maybe the child was getting into trouble, acting out in some ways to get attention, or to try and get their needs met. And instead of being nurturing, this is the type of mother that would get angrier and angrier when you're simply asking for just love, to be loved and supported, to be, to have someone that's genuinely in their corner. On the other hand, there could be some of us that have been dealing with, the other parent, again, not financially taking care of their responsibilities. It's adding stress onto you. Maybe some of you guys are starting to get angry because you've been doing everything, being mommy and daddy by yourself. This person just has no care in the world. And here you are draining yourself every single day. Some of you guys may have dealt with, feeling depressed yourself because of all of this. Some of you guys have realized that maybe you have to walk away from your mother or a motherly figure, however it applies to you. Whoever this is that it's referring to, some of us could have been finally blowing up about all of these pent-up feelings we've been keeping in for so long. I mean, this can go a multitude of ways, you guys. There's definitely a situation where one parent, or whichever parent this refers to, they were definitely a drinker. drinking to get drunk, not drinking occasionally or socially. They're a drunkard. Or there could be some other, substance that this particular person has been dependent on. And now that could also be adding to why this person is just growing colder and colder and more detached with each day that goes by. And I feel like at this point, we've blocked not only family members, but we've blocked people in our lives that just drain our energy, that make us unhappy, that feed into our fears, that, make us feel lonely, even in their company. We're done with this. A lot of us are focused more on self-love, self-care, giving yourself a spa day, phone on airplane mode all day, no distractions, just you, nature, and whatever it is that you feel like doing in life. A lot of us are focusing on regaining not only our energy, but regaining our ability to even feel like wanting to open up to a possibility of love. This is the type of person, and this just came through from my guides. Some of us could be dealing with a motherly figure here that just will not show her emotions. It almost seems as though she doesn't have any emotions. Even though you may think that there's something deep down in there. But this refusal to want to go past the status quo is really strong with this situation here. There could be somebody that just has a mother with a really bad temper. Somebody's going to end up dipping. If it's not referring to us, just bouncing. Some of us may just block somebody, not say a word. Some of us may just let our phone be cut off or change our number altogether. Some of us are completely deactivating our social media accounts, if not just, blocking whoever needs to be blocked off of there if you still use it. I see a lot of that. We're starting to realize that maybe we've been compartmentalizing a lot of things. Maybe a lot of the people within our family tried to compartmentalize everything that's been going on, and they're losing their grip. And especially with all the people that's been getting involved with all the chitter chatter over here, we've definitely realized that the friends, when it comes to friends, we realize a lot of people that we never even would have thought would turn on us have in fact turned on us, period, point blank. We're starting to find out through the grapevine that so-and-so and so-and-so that was so in your corner the other day, now all of a sudden they're the ones that may have been perpetuating the drama and the gossip to begin with from the beginning. And you didn't find out until after the damage was done. And now this particular person has been going around and, throwing salt on everybody's game here and there and everywhere. Now I feel like they're starting to come with the same fate. Now they're being gossiped about. Now they're being shamed. Now they're being put on blast. And now all the people that they put to the side, that they put on hold, is starting to come for that ass because they're tired of the nonsense right along with everybody else. And especially with this judgment, this says it all. Judgment is being cast on everybody involved in this reading, not just the viewer and not just who the viewer is connected to. It's everybody. And there are certain people that just will not measure up, unfortunately, when that day does come, which it's already here. They're going to meet the same fate. And while they think that they've left us or buried us, they did not realize that we were seeds. So all that time in the darkness, we're finally coming out, sprouting, blossoming, and flourishing, and finally able to clearly see the sun. Now, these messages are coming in rapidly, so bear with me. I feel like I'm fumbling over my words a little bit. But see, I see some other energies too that some of you guys could be dealing with. Now, we already see Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, but I also see Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo and Gemini thus far. There's definitely some of you that are those signs or dealing with those signs where this energy is very relevant as well. And there's definitely this feeling where somebody that they don't have any closure on the situation. Maybe we've dealt with so many people where they just kind of left us on ice, so to speak, while they went and did whatever they wanted to do with whoever they wanted to do it with, all the while, making all these promises that they knew they couldn't keep. Saying all the right things and never following through on these things. That's why everybody's bouncing. Biting off way too much. Okay, so I see the Strength card coming out, and I definitely see that our patience is about to pay off. And just like I said about somebody not delivering on their promises. Exactly. There's somebody that's been stalking our social media or trying to figure out our schedule, figure out what we're doing. It could be an air sign specifically. We already said Gemini and Aquarius and Libra, Maybe we're dealing with certain people in the workplace or just certain people around us in general who are trying to steal our ideas, steal our shine, take our place in some way. I feel like there's definitely a lot of news, bad news coming in. So this could be, regarding a job. Maybe there's a background check, an issue with that, or there could be a situation regarding money that was supposed to be made that unfortunately something is either completely halted or delayed here. But what I'm seeing here is a lot of broken promises. Thank you very much, OG, for the donation. I appreciate it. I'm telling you, this speaks volumes right here. There's definitely somebody that's really reckless with the tongue. So when you call them out on something, they'll act confused or they'll bounce when they don't get their way. But let you call them out on, them not following through or not being a man or not being a woman of their word. When you call them out on that, now they have something to say about you. Now they're going to go and smear your name because they're mad they can't manipulate and control the way that you see them. They can't manipulate and control the way that you react. So then I see a lot of people are getting blocked. Some of you guys could have definitely blocked some earth signs and an air sign here for sure. It just got to be too much, too much to deal with. And I also see that there's somebody here that likes to talk a lot. So they'll keep you on the phone for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, but they're really not saying too much. And every time you try to get off the phone, or every time you're trying to, leave or do your own thing, then they want to try and come up with something else to distract you, to keep you from doing what you intended to do. I see a lot of time wasters. I see a lot of gossipers, and I see a lot of low lives. Right now, our faith is definitely being tested. Somebody is seriously immature. And they think that they can just go around and say whatever and do whatever they want to do without any repercussions. Right now, and I've been seeing a lot of references to this, there's definitely a crossroad that all of us are being presented with. And we're going to have to make that choice and stick with it without ever turning back. And there seems to be a lot of people in the dating realm right now that need to be careful who you're giving your trust to, for sure, because there's somebody here that likes to have their cake and eat it too. They're commitment phobic. They have a lot of people in rotation here. And we just need to be wary of that. I'm also seeing that a lot more of us have now started to tap into our own power and our own manifestation abilities. And I feel like a lot of us are also attracting a lot of interest. People want to take us out on dates. People want to get to know us more. Some of us could be speaking more with new people, maybe networking. And a lot more people are being attracted to who we are. And the majority of the people that will start coming into our lives, especially if we choose to walk down the right path, the people that we'll be attracting, for the most part, will be the right ones. And thank you guys so much for the likes. I see y'all liking it up. This is a good sign, the 6 of Wands. So whatever we're dealing with, whatever pressures, whatever stressors, whoever has been knocking us, whoever has been, starting crap, starting fights, whoever has been smearing our name, they're going to get a taste of their own medicine while we can sit pretty, knowing that the truth is out and we are victorious. So there's no more, second guessing, or no more confusion, no more feeling lost on the matter. Now we know exactly who needs to go and who needs to stay. There's somebody here that has way too much on their plate. There could be somebody that's expecting a baby on the way, and they're trying to figure out how the hell they're going to get enough money to take care of not only however many kids they already have, but the one coming up, and they can barely make ends meet as it is. That could also be what somebody's going through, because I just see it as it's laying out. Somebody's going to have to make a decision here, you guys. Somebody's going to have to make a big decision. Somebody's going to lose their money. Somebody's going to be lost as to where the hell their money went when they could have saved up whatever it was that they needed to save. And whenever they needed to take care of their responsibilities, they weren't worried about it until now when they really need it. That's what I'm saying. Somebody, I'm hearing no way out. I see a Virgo here. I know we already said earth signs, but I saw the alien come out, which is the Hermit in this deck. And he was in reverse. Somebody's hiding from judgment, but they can't hide. Everybody sees. It's like their life is on display, and it has been on display. But they thought that they were lying, and they thought they had a silver tongue to get out of it, but they can't. I feel like right now, a lot of us are finding great fulfillment when it comes to working in our gardens. And when it comes to just focusing on healing ourselves, healing our spirit, finding ways to not only repair the DNA, but to activate the DNA. I see a lot of references to fall lately, even in some of the TV shows that I've watched recently. And especially when I look at this Queen of Pentacles here, you know, she's surrounded by all of these trees with these leaves that are changing colors. They're all different colors. So there's purple, orange, green, all of these beautiful colors here. And I feel like she's just in her own zone. She's barefoot. She's, you know, she's planted firmly on the ground. So not only do we need to remain grounded in reality, but the more that we tend to our self-care, you know, not letting anybody come in between our routines, not letting anybody, you know, knock us off course, and not letting anyone distract us, I feel like there will be a lot of abundance that we will be manifesting the more we continue to tend to our garden and the more we continue to focus on these things. And especially, like I said, in regards to fall, you know, a lot of us, especially to those of us that are doing something creatively as a career or, you know, making money off of their hobbies, I see a lot of growth with that. Especially when it concerns, you know, being in the public eye. So if you're making videos, if you're, you know, whatever it is that your medium is in, I see a lot of growth. I see a lot more people recognizing you for your gifts. So maybe it was something that you were apprehensive about putting out into the world, you know, maybe music, maybe dancing, or, you know, maybe wanting to go to acting gigs, things like that. The more that you know, take those steps to move in that direction, you know, while pushing aside all of the fear that you may feel, I see a lot of good things developing from that as well. Thank you very much, India. I appreciate the donation. She says, I wish I could give you more. You deserve it. Thank you. Well, you know what? I think that any amount is still appreciated. I'm grateful for whatever you can give because I know times are hard right now. But I do feel like we are reaching the light at the end of the tunnel, some slower than others, but we do definitely have some decisions to make. And some of us may just quite literally be faced with having to make a choice between multiple people because maybe they all came up to us at the same time. It's not that we're playing games, but maybe it just kind of happened like that. Now we're having to decide who's right for us. And we're trying to take, you know, that proper amount of time this time to move slower, you know, to be more vulnerable, to be more naked, to love like we've never been hurt before. And I see a lot of us are finding a way to tap into that. And I feel like a lot more people are starting to, you know, show more gratitude for what it is that we're doing, even if it's not the people that we hoped would show us gratitude. We're starting to come across the right people who will give that support, that love and support, and to help us along our endeavors here. A lot of us are expanding. So maybe we're expanding our brand. We're expanding our vision. Some of us could be expanding our reach when it comes to, networking and things of that nature. Now, the good thing that I've been seeing as well, and thus far, we have 2 major arcana with the Lovers and Judgment. We definitely have some decisions to make. It can even refer to job offers. So some of us could have a side gig, a side hustle, or maybe a few side hustles here. I also feel like new jobs are starting to come in. So as everything slowly starts to open up, I do feel like we will start to receive a lot more opportunities than we may have in the past. But I also see with this Ace of Pentacles, for sure, this refers to windfalls, honey. And I'm feeling like everything will go in our favor when it comes to any financial assistance that we may need, when it comes to any of the opportunities that we need, and when it comes to the plethora of abundance and blessings that we have been praying for and hoping for. These things will start to flow into our lives with more fluidity. And it's interesting because I started this whole thing off where I was talking to you guys about Papa Legba. We see the blessing and the curse of this particular incident, right? And the blessing is that you have to educate yourself. You have to take that time to seek solace in solitude so you can go inward, because the answers are within you. And the answer for everything is love. So not only do we need to focus on self-love, but we also need to focus on the things that we have to be grateful for. An attitude of gratitude manifests abundance. That's how it works. And I definitely see, some of you guys could have a pet here. Some of you guys could have a cat for a pet, specifically for some of you, where, especially for the empaths and the light workers, animals. We need animals to help us heal and recharge and to reinvigorate that love within us. And a lot of us would do well with having a pet and focusing on caring for, your animal here. Some of you guys could very well have a support dog for some of you that is helping you along. Maybe some of you guys have been considering that. And I think that would be, if it is in your budget, I say do it. Because the more we focus on love, the higher the frequency that we can reach, so we can be untouchable, or rather unfuckwithable. Now, this person is coming out yet again, and I'm saying here that there's definitely somebody getting bad news. It could be somebody in our family that's got bad news. Maybe somebody's gonna have to. Somebody may be taking a loss with a job here, or somebody quite literally lost some money. But I'm also feeling like mugger energy. Guys, be careful where you're walking. Pay attention to your surroundings. Again, this is not to incite fear. It's just the messages that are coming through for me, because, a thief of ideas, this could be quite literally a thief as well. Or there could be a lot of situations where there are a lot of injustices that go unresolved. And now nobody, since nobody is holding them accountable, they just continue to just accelerate and increase the risks and increase their bad behavior. And so I really feel like, just be wary. It could be somebody here, an air sign specifically, that we should be wary of. And just when it comes to messages coming through, whoever we've blocked, maybe they've been trying to get through to you. And I just feel like we're done, especially with the people that tried to sweet talk us here. I'm really getting a strong vibe of that, because there's somebody here that definitely did promise the world and didn't follow through and just fell hard. And all they do is say, oh, I'll be here at this time, and then never show up. Or, oh, I'll pick up my kid at this time and never show up. Or, oh, I'll pay child support this week and then never pay. Or, all these different things are coming through. So that could also be what this is referring to for sure. But I want to say just once again, just be aware of your surroundings because, especially with the money coming in, it could have a lot to do with people that we're living with or people that we know, or even potentially certain people in passing that may be stalking our social media and we're telling everybody, hey, I got my money today, because you're excited, but somebody that's following you, they could just try and figure out where the hell you're going. And they can try and get whatever money is about to fall into your lap, honey, because I'm trying to tell y'all, blessings are definitely flowing in. But I want to make sure y'all are on your tippy toes, crossing your T's and dotting your I's, honey, because people are watching and people are listening. And there's somebody here that's looking for a personal gain. I keep getting references to people that may be trying to act like they're psychic or act like they're, spiritual or what have you. And they don't really know what they're doing. And they're really making matters worse. Now, we already discussed that situation, but I see that clear as day with all of this. And especially when it comes to, intuition, research. And I say that with everything, no matter if it's something that I say, I always advise everyone to do their own research. And I'm also saying that the lack of research here, unfortunately, has extremely bad consequences here. And whoever has had a hidden agenda with us, I'm also feeling, okay, so this just came through. So I also feel like we've ghosted certain people because we picked up on their hidden agendas, or other people may have ghosted us. And it could have been because we didn't give in to whatever it was, whatever their hidden agenda was. So let's say they really wanted to sleep with you, but they were trying to act like they really wanted to get to know you. But then the more that you spent time with them, you start noticing, okay, good, Starman, I'm seeing good things manifest. So that's a good confirmation, you guys. But I definitely feel like somebody had a hidden agenda. They really wanted to sleep with somebody. You didn't sleep with them. They didn't get their way. So they started acting out. They started with the mind games. They started with the hot and cold. They give love and take it away whenever you don't give them what they want. If you don't give them money, then they'll start acting out. Whatever all of this craziness is, it's starting to really come to a head in the worst way. I'm going to cut the deck here, you guys. Yeah, somebody got caught, you guys. Somebody definitely got caught. It could be they got caught with drugs. They got caught with money and drugs, or they got caught with an open container in the car, or they got caught with, a prostitute, or they got caught with, cheating on somebody. They got caught stealing something. They got caught in a lie. They got screenshots thrown at them, and now they can't get out of it. All of these scenarios just came to the surface. And if they haven't yet, they will be coming to the surface very soon. And now that we've broken free from all of these people that's doing all these shady dealings, there still could be a lot that we've been thinking about, replaying in our head without us really intending to do that. I see a lot of this happening because everything that we found out is just mind-boggling, and we're still trying to process it. Nine of Swords reversed speaks volumes. So we're seeing a lot of, vicious things being said, a lot of malicious magic being done in the background. Some of us may have felt tormented by this energy. We felt like maybe we felt cursed. Some of us have identified with generational curses. We're starting to pull out of this. So it might get worse before it gets better, but hang in there. Our faith is being tested. Will we continue to make the same choices we've always made, or to do better? A lot of the anxiety and the fears and the doubts will start to melt away the more that we continue to take action towards our goals, our pursuits. Scale, you almost had me fumbling over my words. Pause. Thank you so much, Scale 6789. They say you are on point. My boss is a Gemini. She is so trying to get rid of me. Blocked another air sign, Aquarius. I don't know what's going on with these air signs. No offense to the air signs in the chat right now. I ain't necessarily referring to y'all, but just even from my experience, y'all know wishy-washy that I told y'all about as a Gemini. But no, no hateration around here. I'm just saying, what's going on? All I know is somebody's definitely been doing too much. Somebody's not getting enough sleep, y'all. Somebody is maybe being kept up at all odd hours of the night. Maybe they're doing a lot of drugs, staying up for multiple days. They don't remember things. Maybe they start losing the keys. They start losing the money. They start losing the dopey dope. They start losing the pillies. They start losing all of it because they're doing too much. And they're writing checks that ass can't cash. And then when we come to collect, they're at a loss for words. Now they're over here looking at us like, what? What happened? But we're over here like, we told you. We gonna bust it wide open. We had already told you that we don't really play them games, but you really tried it though. And so now we over here moving forward. All the cheaters, all the haters, all the snakes, all the liars, all the players, and everybody in between has now been revealed to be the wishy-washy, dusty, crusty, little musty looking ass MFers that they always have been. And now we're moving forward. Some of us may have been indecisive for a real long time because we put so much time into some of these relationships, and we just think that maybe if we just give them this olive branch, everything's gonna be good. And then all of a sudden we realize, nope, we're gonna have to really make a choice. We are at a crossroad. This is really fitting that I told y'all about my experience earlier with Papa Legba. I told you the opposite sort of experience that could potentially happen. And now, just like a crossroad, we have these two, options here. And now we're talking about what we have to look forward to, which is quite literally a crossroad. We are at a point in our lives where we can't go back to certain relationships that we realize that we have to leave. A lot of the people pushed us away with the hot and cold bullshit and the mind games. We were open and honest and vulnerable and real and raw with everybody, but they decided to play it a little bit too safe. All the while, doing shady things in the background here. Bringing about stress upon me and all of this extra stuff. Somebody is genuinely tormented here. Somebody is feeling like they can't get out. I'm hearing sold their soul. And we've been talking a lot about people in Hollywood lately. And now I'm starting to kind of connect the dots a little bit more. Somebody has been selling their soul or has quite literally done something that backfired. This is crazy. This is crazy. Wow. Somebody is really confused at the fact that all of their dirty lies blew up in their face. Everybody now sees who the real culprit is. And now they're looking at us, the person that they tried to smear and bury. Now they're looking at us get all the praise, all the glory. They're seeing us grow into even better women and men and women that we ever were before, even before we met them. They're confused. They're confused at the fact that we're not falling for the okie doke like we used to. They're confused at all the millions and trillions and gazillions of chances that we've given. Now they're confused as to why the well has now completely ran dry, baby. The drought is here, bitch. We don't have any more chances around here. Now let me not get too crunk, because y'all already know I can get wild, because I get swept up in the feelings and the emotions of everybody involved, man. And it's a lot. It's a lot. But I'm going to tell you like this. Somebody is really going to be, they're going to be confused that we're not responding to the bullshit like we used to. So if they may have said something to get under our skin, and maybe they thought that we were going to chase them, or maybe they thought that we were going to, maybe take the bait and do what we always did. We're not doing it anymore. The attention really isn't on them anymore. We can see through their little false promises. And when the script gets flipped on them, they still don't understand why they're in the position that they're in. And they're definitely upset. Somebody's communicating. Okay, so I'm going to pause you guys because there's a lot going on. So there's definitely there's a water sign and an air sign, you guys, that really wants us. It could be a Pisces in particular, specifically. This person could have a daughter or two daughters or two kids here that this could be referring to. And I see that a lot of people are starting to see that we are happier. We are more attractive. A lot of us have quite literally leveled up, and we continue to level up. We're getting our outfits right. We're starting to take better care, when it comes to wearing more flattering clothing for our body shape, learning more about how to do makeup and do all of these things to attract a man of means, to attract a genuine, kind-hearted, compassionate, supportive, strong leader in a man. Or this could even be referring to, the men that are seeking women that are, strong, confident, that would be good mothers, that would be good, caretakers, that is also ambitious, that is also confident. I see all of these things and these energies coming through to us. And a lot of us that want to tap into our creativity, we are realizing as the fears and the sadness and depression start to melt away, as we regain our strength and we replenish ourselves through self-love, and we replenish our cup by only loving ourselves for the time being until we feel ready and able to move forward. These energies will start to pour into our lives. We will start to have this newfound sense of confidence in ourselves and in our abilities. I've been seeing a lot of sunflowers lately, and I have been pointing those out, and I see a sunflower on this Queen of Wands card here. And she has a team behind her. So a lot of us are stepping into the leadership position for sure. And we're a lot more confident that we are able to maintain, our communities here. And we're able to govern, with the equal amounts of head and heart. And the fact that we're confident in our abilities definitely helps, because confidence is sexy. And regardless of the people that may have tried to call us a snob because they felt insecure, because they're jealous, I definitely feel like now we're not letting outer opinions and influences get to us anymore. And there's a strong message to stay silent about what you're trying to do here. Some of you quite literally need to take a few days where you guys have a spa day, and you can just be lazy all day if you want to, or to go do whatever it is that you want to do without the phone, without the social media, and really just give yourself that break. Don't even answer the phone or whatever. Just cut it off on airplane mode and get back to it when you can, if possible. I know people have kids and all that good stuff, But if it's possible that you can do that, I feel like a lot of you would benefit from that. And the fact that we've been avoiding arguments with people that just want to steal our shine or to steal our happiness or to waste our time, now we're not dealing with it anymore, and we're not responding to it, is what I'm saying here. But I do feel like there could be a situation where maybe a fire sign that some of us are getting a message from, maybe they're just dealing with a lot of issues right now. They're blocked emotionally, and not only blocked emotionally, but maybe they could be a drinker themselves, or maybe, there's just something going on here that's draining them in some way. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the people that may have been surrounded around. But there are some men here for the ladies out there, the King of Cups and the King of Swords. We're definitely receiving love offers, and we're definitely receiving direct communication. So this is somebody who's very clear about what they want, and they back it up with action, so it's no more playing the guessing game and trying to figure out why they were hot yesterday, but now all of a sudden they're not really talking as much and all that other stuff. And the more we focus on our creativity, though, I feel like we will be able to keep our minds clear and to have a healthy distraction from any of the things that we may be overthinking about without intending to overthink. I don't even know why I put those down. But yeah, there's definitely a situation here where somebody's wanting to reunite, and I think that they're blocked. And they may have been trying to reach out to us or something like that. And they're maybe saying, hey, can I come through? Or, hey, okay, I'll do it now, or whatever, or something, whatever it is that they're trying to say. I feel like they're trying to, meet back up. Maybe we could very well be coming across, childhood friends that we haven't talked to in decades for some of you, and in years for others. And I also feel like some of us may be going back home, or maybe going to a reunion, or maybe, something of that sort. But we are approaching life now with a newfound attitude. So how we talked about maintaining an attitude of gratitude. I feel like a lot of us are starting to embrace that a lot more, and we're starting to break away from any imbalances that we may have been struggling with a little bit. Yeah, see, and this has been coming out a lot. Something told me to pick this card up from the bottom of the deck. This is crazy. So, look at him in the background, Aries, Aries energy, or a fatherly figure here. Somebody is really just all for self. So if they'll probably appear as though they're helping you with something, but lo and behold, they had an ulterior motive the whole time. So, it may look like they're really in your corner or whatever, but really they had their own needs that will be met if they did help you in any way, or whatever way that you need them to at the time. But if it comes to, helping somebody out of the kindness of their heart, this is not the type of person to do that. I also feel like bosses, this could be referring to bosses, fatherly figures, or an Aries here, where this person is just abusive. Period. They need to have control over everyone and everything. And, they always think that they know everything. They think they know everything about everybody within the first couple of seconds, when they really don't even have not even close to a clue. I feel like this is somebody that is really arrogant. So they wear, designer things. They have a really nice car. Maybe their parents have money. And so they're trying to make it seem like they themselves have money, but it's really not their money. But then they have the nerve to look down on other people when, other people have less than they do. And, they try to make other people feel like shit, and gossip about people, just to take the attention off of their own insecurities that this person is dealing with. There's definitely a narcissist. There's definitely a narcissist, period, point blank. All they want is what they want when they want it, and they'll throw anybody under the bus to get it. So you may have known this person for years, and they still do you dirty as if it was somebody that they didn't even know. How could you do me like that? Like, I would expect that from a stranger, but you, et tu, Brutus? there's somebody that just really, they really do have a woe is me attitude. They want everybody to feel sorry for them so they can, continue to inflate their already overinflated self-importance and ego, I mean, this is pitiful. And this is so crazy because I just started shuffling. Something told me to shuffle again. I just realized I had already cut the deck. Back with this, I think it's that person who we were just talking about a second ago. They're the ones dealing with all of this extra stuff. They're tormented. They're dealing with extreme depression. They ruin their life. There's somebody here that quite literally ruined their life. And have the nerve to showboat, with other people's money to look good to people that don't even like them. That's crazy. That was a little too deep right there. Okay. That's crazy. Now they're the ones stressing out. Now they're the ones sad. Now they're the ones feeling the heat. Now they're the ones dealing with being alone. We tried. See, going back to this, you guys, maintain an attitude of gratitude. And please, you guys, do not be afraid to reach out for help if you need it. And the assistance, like I was saying about this other stimulus check, I genuinely feel like if you guys have been waiting a long time for your stimulus check, do what you need to do to maybe get that rectified. But most of us, if not all of us, need to just display patience. And then when it comes to what's being discussed currently with the current stimulus package that they're discussing, I do feel like that's going to come to fruition. It may not be as much as maybe they said in the beginning, but it will definitely be enough to help us move forward. Some of us could even use some of this money to not only pay off debts, student loans, but I also feel like we could use this money that we can stack up to create a savings, get focused on a 401k, IRA, all of these different things. Some of us are learning more about financial literacy. And if we haven't been learning recently, we will get into this. So we know how to properly manage our money. And we're not really going, we know that we're a generous person. So let me just say this. A lot of people will start to see the money that you're making. And a lot of the people that weren't being nice to you before will probably start being nice to you because they think that you're still going to be the same generous person that you always have been, being the person like, if I got it, you got it type person that we had mentioned earlier. Let's go ahead and shut her down and keep it shut down. I'm sorry. I know that there's nothing wrong with helping people, but see, we need to help people by letting them help themselves sometimes, especially if they're not doing anything to improve their own situation. Now, if it's somebody that really busts their ass and actually has a vision and is actually working towards bettering themselves and working towards a business and working towards, something of substance, then cool. I would say help that person. If there are people needy that, are innocent, children, things like that, of course, be generous. There are a lot of different organizations that will be helping a lot of people as well at this current time. So do your research because that's coming through as well. But when it comes to certain people in the family, like I said about these people lying with these hidden agendas, I'm going to just put it to you like this. No, the answer is no. And the answer will always be no. Hell no. Period. No. No. And there's no reason to feel guilty about it. Somebody's going to message us. Period. Somebody's going to message us. It could be a fire sign specifically. And I really feel like right now, while we are doing research, while we are learning more, while we are growing and expanding in many, into many different, new mediums. Some of us may not really be a writer and now we're writing. Some of us may not have really been into making music, but now we're into it. And now we're starting to dabble or whatever it is. Doing this research will help allow us to grow spiritually, grow creatively, and it will also allow us to add to our arsenal of ways to counteract any, any ill intent, any thieves, any energy vampires, and things of that nature. The more that we educate ourselves on how to replenish the body, replenish the mind, replenish the spirit, the more we learn about our craft, and the more that we reach out to new people, I see that, us embodying this free spirited energy will get us to a lot of places here. And not letting these people hold us back with that hot and cold and to make us think that it's our fault, because I don't see that happening. Now, I just cut the deck here and we're going to stop cutting it because, yes, play broke. Exactly. And that's exactly what I've learned in my current situation. That's so funny that you say that. I just feel like I need to say that. Say this right here. The place that I've been in, I used to complain all the time because it wasn't big enough. It wasn't modern, it's a simple apartment, it's a little smaller than usual, but it's something, it's home, right? I used to complain about that, but now that I think about how much what I need to pay is the cheapest I'm ever going to find. And it's good, it's kind of good that I'm not really showing all that I have. I'm not wearing the designer shit and making myself be a target to get robbed. I finally realized to myself, damn, it might actually be good to just stay here as long as I can, just to play it off. But I'm gonna leave it like that. Sun card here, the liberation. We're liberated. Everything is coming to light. So what has been done in darkness will come to light. We don't need to defend ourselves any longer, or to get into these whole knockdown drag outs or anymore. None of this is necessary, and we're done. Patience. Patience is the key when it comes to waiting for, us to see growth. And when it comes to our creative projects, we need to take our time and to balance work with play. A lot of us have been overworking or allowing a lot of other things outside of us to cause a lot of stress, a lot of unrest, to keep us up at night, but not anymore here. We're being presented with a choice. And now I see 3 major arcana thus far. And I almost forgot to add, Papa Legba's number is 3. And I've been seeing a lot of 3s as well. And if you guys have been seeing 333s, I've also been noticing 666, 888, all of these different numbers, 77 and 55. But especially if you've been seeing 333, just know that that's your angels trying to reach out to you to say, we are here with you whenever you need our help. All you need to do is ask. Since we have free will, they can't intervene without our permission. And the same goes with demonic entities as well. A lot of people don't realize that. When we open ourselves up to to other dimensions when it comes to smoking or drinking or whatever, we have to know what we're doing, because that gives them legal right to enter you if you're not careful and uneducated. But if you're educated and you do not give consent, and you know that you have the permission to say, I do not give you consent, then there you have it. But I definitely feel like we are being set free in a lot of different ways, and there's a lot coming in that just completely threw me off course. There's a lot coming in when it comes to where we're headed, and it's a lot of beautiful and fulfilling things to hope for here. I mean, I can't even put it into words, because I can feel the energy. I'm even seeing the Temperance card. So now we have 4 coming in. Things are manifesting. Things are manifesting right now. Somebody is trying to call, or maybe we blocked a call, or there's something going on here. Maybe somebody's hoping that we'll call, or we're hoping to get a call. Some of us may not get that call. So if you don't worry. Something better is on the horizon. Be wary. I keep mentioning air signs, where I'm noticing, with that Knave of Swords reversed earlier, the whole stalkerish energy and, all this extra stuff. Now we're seeing this person back again, and they're very angry. And they move very quickly. They're just looking to hurt people around them. They don't even care about themselves. They'll hurt themselves without thinking ahead. They don't think and plan ahead at all. I see a crow here. Somebody is really dangerous. They live a dangerous lifestyle. Self-harm. I see self-harm here. Self-mutilation. Maybe they could be into something like when it comes to activities in the bedroom. Maybe they're really extreme with some of the things that they like. This person may have long dark hair. Every time I see this card, I always think of sacrifices. Maybe they're giving their own blood, summoning demons. Satanists is what I get from this. Or maybe they're a non-believer and they're just bringing destruction and chaos everywhere that they go. Yeah, somebody's pretty mad. I feel like somebody may have done all these sacrifices. Maybe they did something with blood and they really thought that they were getting ahead of a situation. But now I think that that's about to come back on them. So if, they've been sending demons to some of us, maybe if we've had a demon passed down to us from generation to generation, maybe we've had other people that's been trying to do spell work or trying to do hexes or trying to, bring harm to us in some way, whether it's verbally, physically, spiritually. All of these things will get dealt with. I'm hearing sirens in the background. You guys probably cannot hear them. Somebody may be dealing with fire. Maybe somebody may be setting something on fire, because I also saw fire earlier. I also feel like there will be an emergency here. Somebody is trying to make a permanent decision for a temporary problem. And I hate to say this, but there's somebody here that really is thinking about harming themselves, and we need to be careful. Whatever is being put out in the universe, return negative energy back to sender 100-fold. It is actually manifested already. So now it's taking its course. And so whatever somebody has been putting out into the ether towards us to harm us spiritually, they're going to get that back 100-fold. All the hateful things that they said, all the harm that they brought on to people, animals, and everybody around them. Now I'm starting to see the chickens come home to roost. I definitely see a knife collector or somebody that may collect swords. Oh, wow. Maybe somebody is into explosives, bombs. You guys. Again, not inciting fear. I'm just saying that bomb caught my eye. Judgment Day, you guys. I noticed a plant that I had planted out there before I got all of my gardening tools. There was a particular flower that I have growing out in the yard. And there are some parts of it that have started to dry up and fall away and die. And then the other part, I see a new part of the plant growing through. So it's kind of like when I looked at that, I knew it wasn't wheat or tares, but the wheat and the tares came to mind when I saw that. The old and the new coexisting. And now a purge must take place. And everybody that brought doom, gloom, destruction, and chaos and abuse their way is going to get it back. I see a lot of people that we need right at the right time will want collaborate with us. And guys, you know what? That makes me think of something. If you guys would like to see any collaborations on this channel, don't be shy. You guys can definitely make some suggestions, but check this out, you guys. A lot of people will have a lot of opinions about what you're doing, and they'll probably say that they may not like what you're doing. Keep going. It may not look like you're coming out on top of the competition here, but just keep going. Because we have the Six of Wands and the Chariot. Every time I see two of those in the same reading, I know the game is over with. It's over. Checkmate. So whatever we needed to do spiritually, whatever spell work has been done and all this other stuff, remember how I said return negative energy back to center 100-fold about a year ago or whatever? Everything that we've been participating in here, these things are coming to completion. Anything that you've been working on, these things will be working in your favor. There are a lot of things that you need to learn. Maybe some of you guys are going back to school. Maybe you guys are finally, you have enough money to go back to school, or you got enough money to get a car to get around to go to school, or whatever it is that you need to do to build your skills, start training. All these things will start to come to fruition slowly but surely. But we need to take some time to put the wands down and to give ourselves some rest. We have to. There seems like there's a lot of people that just don't want to take responsibility for their own lives and for their own actions. So they want you to take responsibility for it. They want you to feel down and out. Maybe there are some things that didn't come to fruition for us that made us feel like everything that we had worked for was all for naught. But it won't be, as long as we keep going. And as long as we take a break when we need to take a break. We can't be doing everything at once. I keep seeing that in this entire reading. I've seen that message come through 3 or 4 times now. We can't do everything at once. And we can't be living in the old life with the new life at the same time. That just came through. So some of us are going to have to give up on certain people here because they're not going to change. We are willing to grow. They are not willing to take responsibility. They are not willing to take over the reins of their own life. They want everybody to do it for them. They want things handed to them. We can't save them anymore, especially people within the family. We just can't save them. So chalk it up to you tried and focus on loving yourself, building your business, going back to school if you want to go back to school, focusing on, expanding your career skill set or whatever it is that you dream to do. Get up, get out there and get going. Get started if you haven't already and get to work. But when you need to sit down, please don't fight it. Take your time. The right people will come at the right time. But for right now, a lot of us need to just go ahead and go it alone. And just because you're alone doesn't mean that you're lonely. So some of us may have to confront that feeling, bless it, and let it go. But whatever you've got to take care of, whoever's stressing you out, whatever is stressing you out, give it to God and let it go and be done with it. Just keep going, keep moving forward. You can't control this chariot. You won't move forward into success if you're looking back, because you will crash. So don't mind what everybody else is saying. Their opinions are not fact. And just keep it going, keep it moving. Don't stop believing in yourself. Don't stop believing in your vision. Remind yourself, maybe you need to take a break and get some rest, and remind yourself why you started this journey in the first place. Remember who you are before you started coming across all these people that didn't value you, that took you for granted. Find that you again that maybe you've been hiding from. Let your light shine, regardless of who agrees with you or not. And even if something that you were hoping for doesn't come to fruition, just wait. The more you continue to put in that work and to continue to build, the greater the possibilities. But it starts with you. It starts with a plan, taking action, and never looking back. Never, ever look back. A lot of people will try to pull you back with them, but don't let them. Don't let them guilt trip you. Don't let them make you feel less than, because it's all a tactic. to get you to stay down, because misery loves company. But we love success and abundance more. Put yourself first. So that is what I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And like I said, if you guys would like to book private readings with me, keep in mind I will not be doing those live anymore, but all of the information that you need to contact me and to book a reading and find my prices is linked below. If you'd like to become a member of this channel, you are more than welcome to hit the join button. You can get some awesome custom badges and emojis with some awesome perks. And if you'd like some Lotus Squad merch, you can check the merch shelf below. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. And until next time, stay blessed, not stressed. Peace and love.